Hello, in this session we will discuss about chain reaction. In chain reaction, first a particular intermediate is formed and those intermediates are responsible for carrying out the carrying out multiple reactions in a vigorous manner. So those intermediates are basically called radicals in chain reaction. We will discuss more about them in a short period of time. So how a chain reaction is different from a non-chain or any other conventional reaction. Generally all the non-conventional chemical kinetic reaction or non-chain reaction at the zero time, when the reaction starts, the rate of reaction is very high, and when with time, as time progresses, the rate of reaction decreases, or the rate of reaction decreases exponentially with respect to time. That is all about the non-chain reaction. But in the other case, in chain reaction, at zero time or at the starting of the reaction, generally the rate of reaction is slow. It increases to a maximum level with respect to time, and after reaching a particular maximum value, the rate of reaction again falls, again decays with respect to time. So in chain reaction, the rate of reaction at zero time is slow or low, it increases, then it decreases with respect to time. Whereas in non-chain reaction, the rate of reaction at zero time is maximum, and with respect to time it decreases exponentially. So mechanism of chain reaction can be understood through free radical or free atom mechanism. For an example, during the formation of HCl, chlorine molecule breaks down in presence of sunlight or in presence of light to form chlorine free atoms or chlorine radicals. Those radicals further react with hydrogen and other chlorine molecule to form HCl. So this is a general mechanism. Then to study the kinetics of chain reaction, that can be done through two approaches. One is non-study treatment and the second one is study treatment. The non-study treatment is a complicated one and we will not consider here. The study treatment is nothing but same as the steady state approximation that we have discussed in the consecutive reaction exercise. So what was the steady state treatment or steady state approximation there? In steady state approximation, we have assumed that the concentration, the rate of change of concentration of intermediate is zero, or the concentration is remaining constant with respect to time after a certain induction time period. Means first at zero time the concentration of intermediate will start increasing, after that it will start decreasing, and after that induction time period the concentration of intermediate will remain constant, so that we can write the rate of change of concentration with respect to time is zero. Similarly is the case for study treatment of chain reaction, whereas will not consider intermediates here, rather we will consider that intermediates are radicals, free radicals here in chain reaction. Instead of intermediate, we call them as radicals in chain reaction. So similarly, the radicals, the rate of change of radical concentration with respect to time will be zero, and that will be the steady state treatment of understanding the kinetics of chain reaction. So R is free radical or intermediate of or chain carrier. R can be a radical or intermediate or a chain carrier, whatever it may be depending upon the nature of the reaction. So to generalize the case, generally chain reaction consists of chain initiation where M gives rise to R. M can be the reagent itself and K1 is the rate constant for dissociation of M. Then further the intermediate or radical or chain carrier reacts with M to form alpha amount of R and M prime. Then final reaction, M reacts with R to form product. So the rate of product formation depends upon the rate constant K3. Now there is some other destructive reactions also. In destructive part, R can undergo destruction at the surface with respect to the rate constant K4, and the R can undergo destruction. R is the intermediate or free radical. R can undergo destruction in gas phase with respect to rate constant K5. Now what is the intermediate here? The intermediate is R. We have to apply steady state approximation with respect to R. The steps are: first apply steady state approximation with respect to R, then set dr over dt is equal to 0, find out the concentration of R, then use those concentration of R in this step 3. That is, our aim is to find out product concentration. So product concentration depends upon R K3R into M. The rate of product formation will be is equal to K3R concentration into M concentration. So how will you find out R concentration? But the R concentration can be found out using steady state approximation and setting those values equal to 0. So we'll do that. So first we have to find out, we have to apply steady state approximation for R. R is the intermediate or free radical. So there are many reactions, 4 steps are there. In the first step, R is forming. So K1M plus K2 alpha minus 1 R into M. In the second step, R is there in both right hand side and left hand side and right hand side of the reaction, where in the right hand side alpha or the fraction of R that is formed is alpha. So the rate law expression we can write in the LHS side, the amount of R left is alpha minus 1 R into M concentration. Again for the third case, minus R is deteriorating here, so minus K3 RM. For the fourth step, minus K4R, again here R is deteriorating, and then the final step also R is deteriorating, so minus K5R. And as per steady state approximation, we will set that equal to 0. So if we solve those cases, we will get the concentration of R as this expression, K1M over K3M plus K4 K5 minus K2 alpha minus 1 M. This is simple rearrangement. Essentially we got an expression for the intermediate. We'll use this expression for intermediate concentration in our rate law for product formation. What is the rate of reaction? Rate of reaction is rate of product formation. So for product formation is given by third step. The rate of product formation is nothing but K3R into M. So the rate of reaction is nothing but the rate of product formation, which is K3R into M. In place of R, we will substitute this R expression, this R concentration of R expression that we have obtained from steady state approximation. If we will substitute, we will get an expression for rate of reaction. Now there is something called chain length. In chain reaction, chain length is generally a common term that is used. What is chain length? It is defined as the ratio of overall reaction divided by rate of initiation reaction. What is the initiation reaction? The first step is the initiation reaction. What is the rate constant for rate law for initiation reaction? It will be K1M. So what will be chain length? Chain length says it is a ratio of overall reaction divided by rate of initiation. So overall rate is R. We have just now we have derived overall rate divided by K1M. K1M is the rate of initiation. So if we do that, we can find out the chain length of the reaction. So examples of some examples of some chain reaction that follow steady state treatment are reaction between hydrogen and bromine to form hydrogen bromide, then decomposition of oxygen, then photochemical combination of hydrogen and bromine, then hydrogen and chlorine reaction, photolysis of acetaldehyde, auto-oxidation reaction means combination of hydrogen and oxygen, that is called auto-oxidation or combustion reaction. These are all examples of chain reaction where we can solve the kinetics of these chain reactions using steady state approximation. I will only discuss the reaction between hydrogen and bromine. I'll not discuss this the other examples here. So hydrogen and bromine is a complex reaction. It does not follow simple bimolecular reaction process. The mechanism can be given as: first, the chain initiation takes place where bromine reacts with M to form bromine radicals and M. What is M? M can either be bromine or hydrogen molecule. Okay, so bromine reacts with M to form bromine radicals and M, and the rate constant is K1. The second step is chain propagation reaction, in which two steps are there. In a slow reaction is there with respect to rate constant K2, and there is a fast reaction with respect to rate constant K3. And in the slow reaction, hydrogen radical is formed, and in the fast reaction, bromine radical is formed. And the third step of the reaction is chain inhibition or chain retardation reaction. Here hydrogen radical reacts with HBr to form hydrogen and bromine radical, the rate constant being K4. Then chain breaking at the end, chain breaking takes place. Here bromine radicals reacts with M, and the rate constant is being K5 to form bromine and M star. M is like bromine and hydrogen. Okay, so this K1 to K5 are specific reaction rates. So this is the total mechanism, and we'll find out what is the rate of reaction or rate of formation of the product. What is the product here? The product here is HBr. Okay, the product here is HBr. We'll find out how HBr is formed. So we'll start with the rate of formation of HBr is given by step 2 and 3. In step 2 and 3 only, in step 2 HBr is forming, and in step 3 HBr is deteriorating. So the rate law expression will involve K2, K3, and both the terms will be positive because it is forming, and in the step 3 K4 term will be -1. So the rate of formation of HBr is given as step 2. Step 2 gives only formation. Step 3 gives only decomposition. So first we will discuss step 2. So dHBr over dt is equal to, here K2 bromine radical concentration, hydrogen concentration, plus K3 bromine concentration plus hydrogen radical. So that's what it is written. K3 bromine into hydrogen radical, K2 hydrogen into bromine radical. This is formation of HBr, that's why positive sign. Now the rate of decomposition of HBr, negative sign, because it is decreasing, and that is given as in form of step 3 or the third step of the mechanism. And how it is decomposing? K4 into hydrogen radical into HBr concentration. Now what are the intermediates here? We have set up the rate laws. Then we have to follow the steady state approximation. We have to apply steady state approximation to the intermediates. But the step 2 gives only formation. Step 3 gives decomposition. What is the total rate of formation of HBr or total rate of formation of product? The total rate of formation of product will be rate of formation minus rate of decomposition. So if we combine these two steps, we can find out the net rate of formation of HBr, which will be the rate of formation minus rate of decomposition. So we have set up the rate law for the product. Now you have to apply steady state approximation to the intermediates. From steady state approximation, we'll find out the concentration of intermediates. We'll use those concentration of intermediates in this equation 1 to find out what is the concentration of HBr or concentration of product. So what are the intermediates here? There are two intermediates. One is hydrogen radical and the other one is bromine radical. So we'll use the steady state approximation for two species, two intermediates. One is hydrogen radical and the other one is bromine radical. So equation 2 gives the steady state approximation for hydrogen radical. Now from the mechanism we'll see where hydrogen is forming. Hydrogen is forming in step 2a. So here hydrogen is forming, that will be positive sign. Here also hydrogen is decomposing. In step 3 it is decomposing, and step 2b also it is decomposing. So in one reaction it is forming, and in the two reaction it is decomposing. So we'll apply steady state approximation for hydrogen radical. So in one case it is forming, that's why it is positive sign, and in the other two instances it is decomposing, that's why it is negative sign. Similarly we will apply bromine steady state approximation to bromine radical. In the first step it is forming, and in the second 2b step also it is forming, but 2a it is decomposing. Step 3 it is forming, step 4 it is decomposing. So for 3 steps it is forming, for 2 steps it is decomposing. So if we set up the rate law for bromine radical, for 3 steps it was forming, so positive sign should be for K1, K3 and K4 it is positive, K2 and K5 it is negative. So I strongly suggest you mark this square and this coefficient 2, coefficient 2K1 and 2K5. Those are appearing due to the there are 2 bromine radicals, that's why that coefficient 2 is appearing there. Here also 2 bromine radicals are there, that's why coefficient 2 is appearing there. So those coefficient and squares should be marked correctly. So this is all about what the rate law expression for the intermediates. Now according to steady state approximation, the rate of change of intermediates is 0. So equation 2 and equation 3 can be set equal to 0 according to steady state approximation. And that says that the intermediate concentration is essentially not changing with respect to time after a certain induction period from the beginning of the reaction. So if we set equal to 0, equation 2 is the rate law with respect to hydrogen radical, equation 3 is rate law with respect to bromine radical. If we set the steady state approximation, we can equate them equal to 0. If we rearrange the LHS, if we rearrange both the equations, this equation comes from equation 2, that is hydrogen radical, and the second expression comes from equation 3, that is for bromine radical. If we rearrange, we will get equation 4 and equation 5. Further, in 4 and 5 the LHS are same, K2, H2 and bromine radical. If we subtract equation 4 and 5, equation 4 corresponds to hydrogen radical, equation 5 corresponds to bromine radical. If we subtract them, we can get an expression like 2K1 Br bromine concentration is equal to 2K5 bromine radical concentration raised to the power 2. Our aim is to find out bromine concentration, bromine radical concentration. Why we are applying steady state approximation? To know the concentration of the intermediate. So on solving, we can find out the concentration of bromine radical, that is equation 6. Now we will substitute this equation 6 in any of the equation 4 and 5. Suppose 4 looks simple, so we will substitute bromine radical concentration in equation 4. We can find out the hydrogen radical concentration. Directly take the bromine radical concentration in equation 4. These are all simple steps. We can find out the expression for hydrogen radical concentration. Now we know the concentration of the intermediates. Once we know the concentration of the intermediates, we use this equation 6 and equation 7 in the net rate of formation of product, that is HBr, that is equation 1. So we substitute the bromine radical and hydrogen radical concentration expression from equation 6 and 7 into equation 1. What was equation 1? Equation 1 was formation, rate law expression for formation of hydrogen bromide. So that is the product. So again I have written what is equation 1. Equation 1, this is radicals are there, it is missing. It is bromine radical, hydrogen radical and hydrogen radical. So if we substitute the expression for bromine radical, hydrogen radical and hydrogen radical, and we keep on solving the expressions, these are all elementary steps, it can be followed easily. So I will not go through the individual step. We can find out a complicated expression like rate law expression like 2K2H2 root over of K1 K5 Br2 over 1 plus K4 HBr over K3 Br2. Now this rate law expression matches with experimental results, so which indicates that our rate law expression that we obtained by applying steady state approximation is correct. Means for hydrogen bromide formation case, we can apply the steady state approximation to the intermediates. And what are the intermediates here? The intermediates are hydrogen radical and bromine radical. So with this I'll stop here. Thank you.